I interviewed more than 10 UX designers for Zalando, and this is what I've learned. My name is Ines, and you are on my channel about UX design. I have 15 years of experience in UX design, and the past 3 years I'm working as a principal product designer at Zalando. And interviewing people is actually a part of my job description, so I do that a lot, despite recent years being not very lucky for UX design industry in general, and we did not do a lot of hiring as previously we did during the pandemic, for example. So I recently counted and figured out it was more than 10 designers already, but only one person who I've met during the interview process was hired eventually. There are good reasons for that, and honestly, it's not because I'm picky as an interviewer. In fact, I almost always approve people to go further into the hiring process. But the thing is that we have our own checklist, if you wish, and only if we have certain evidence that we can link to the points in this checklist, we can approve the person and hire them. And I get a lot of questions about interview preparation, so I decided to sum up my experience about being a hiring manager. And I have identified 3 major reasons why UX designers fail when they are on the interview. And the thing is, if you have been already invited to the interview, that means that your portfolio checks out. So we are not going to talk about your portfolio and how to prepare, assuming that it is already enough. That's why let's focus on the things that could go wrong during the interview process only. And the first reason the majority of UX designers fail to go through the interview process is that because they come unprepared. And big companies, they hate that. Smaller companies actually would also appreciate if you know a bit about their history. And if the person comes unprepared, that gives the person this unreluctant vibe, you know? And if before the pandemic, companies were reaching out to candidates themselves and asking them basically to participate in interviews, this attitude might have been possible. But right now it is unacceptable. If you come unprepared, we will definitely see this, and you will be rated lower than other candidates because others will stand out in the comparison with you. So please do a small research about the company you are applying to. Read their blog and website, find out who are working in this company. It's not so complex, you know? And definitely go and explore the product, because if recruiters and hiring managers will see that you know the product, that you came prepared, they will definitely give you some extra points. Okay, this first reason, frankly, doesn't come that often to me, luckily, because our recruiters, they actually do a lot of pre-screening, and candidates they allow to come to us, they are definitely prepared. But this mentioned multiple times by my friends recruiters, so I decided to include it as well. And definitely that happened with me many times when I was working in startups and agencies, so it is a very fair point to look at. By the way, if you like this video so far, give me a thumbs up and hit the subscribe button down below. That's important for me and for YouTube algorithms. And we are moving on. Now, the second reason why UX designers fail on job interviews is something I encounter very, very often. And this reason is when UX designers explain poorly what they did in the previous company. You see, every hiring process for UX designers includes the step called portfolio deep dive. And this is where we ask people to walk us through the design process they did for previous companies and projects. We try to identify what real impact this person has made and what was the circumstances the person was introduced to. And I've noticed that many people are stressed about this interview type because they are afraid that their actual design process was imperfect. But as I said in the beginning, if you have been invited to interviews already, that means that what you have in your portfolio is enough for us. And it's fine that your design process was not perfect. No one has a perfect design process, believe me. But what we're looking for is that how proactive you were. What do I mean by being proactive here? Basically, I mean that you did not do just what you were told to do, but you have identified opportunities or some imperfections, some gaps in the design process or in the user experience overall, and you proactively suggested some improvements. Even if you were not able to change the design process or the outcome eventually, that does not matter. What matters is that you have tried. So conditions you are working in UX design will rarely be perfect. There will always be challenging clients or stakeholders, tight deadlines, imperfect design libraries. But what we do is that we're trying to improve what we can. And after some period of time, we can have this influence on the design process and things eventually will become a little bit better. You need to demonstrate that you have found this these opportunities, these imperfections, these gaps, and you have tried to solve them in these ways. But also try to stay constructive when you're criticizing your previous company or a client. So you need to tell a story about you being proactive but not aggressive. Tell that you have learned something from this experience. Tell that you have tried this and this is why it did not work, and maybe next time you will try something different. This is it. This is what we want to hear. And it's actually easier than it seems if you just know where to pay attention to. Now, the third and the last reason why UX designers fail during job interviews is that they give rushed answers. And this is mostly the problem that shows itself during the so-called design challenges. Because during the design challenges, you will be asked thought-provoking questions. And here I believe that many people can do better if they will just take a pause, create a space for themselves on the interview, and just give a more structured answer. But many people, they don't do that, and that's why their answers is hard to follow. But articulating design decisions is one of the most important skills for UX designers, and this is what we want to assess on the design challenge interview. So partially that comes from nervousness, I get it. But then know it about yourself and learn some technique how you can overcome those nervousness. What helps me personally is to think that I'm interviewing the company in the same way they are interviewing me. And that helps me to calm down and also place myself on the more active role during the interview process. When you receive a thought-provoking question where you don't know the answer immediately, it's okay to take a pause. Just tell an interviewer, that's a very interesting question. Let me think about it for a moment. And then in this space, you can even take some notes and write down some bullet points that can help you to structure the answer. There is also one fantastic book I can recommend you to read. It is called Articulate Your Design Decisions. And this book can really help you to be better on job interviews and will help you with your storytelling. Now, if nothing helps and you cannot battle with your nervousness or rushed answers, then rehearse job interviews. A shortcut for that would be to find a mentor. I have a video on this channel about how to find a UX mentor. There I'm giving some strategies about how you can do this and what is the difference between a mentor, a coach and a teacher. Even if you cannot find a mentor, you can always help your friends to help you out. This is what I did with my partner when he was applying for jobs in Berlin. He is a software developer. I have no idea what to ask software developers about, so I just read through the list he gave me. But that did not matter at the end, because the outcome of this mock interview was a video that my partner could watch then and identify some growth areas. I know it's very painful to watch yourself on the video. Believe me, I've made like dozens of videos before I've got used to how I look and how I sound on videos. But if you will go to this pain, that will pay you off, I promise. Because there you will find out a few things. First, you don't look that bad as you thought. Second, there are minor things you can improve that will make you already look good. For example, my partner, after watching this video that we made together, added an additional lighting to the table just to look good and tried to smile more. And those minor things put you in the position of control over your job interview. And if you feel that you are in control, you are more confident in the process in general. Those were 3 major reasons why UX designers don't make it through their job interviews. But there is one thing I also wanted to mention. Please never come late. This is like an ultimate thing that can ruin it all. And that was it for today. If you enjoyed this video and you want to get more videos like that, subscribe to my channel. I hope this video was helpful and let me know in the comments what my next video should be about. And I see you next time.